today means a trip to the scorching hot Arizona desert where the little guy got paid. He got paid. He got a whole lot of cash. Now, if you didn't see the story, and chances are you probably did see it, but maybe not. Maybe you live in a bubble and you missed it. So we learned that the Cardinals have lost all credibility and signed pint-sized quarterback, or should I say fun-sized quarterback, Kyler Murray, to a 5-year contract for over $230 million. That's right. Alligator Arms is now the second highest paid quarterback in terms of average annual salary. He'll be bringing home $46.1 million per season. The deal includes $160 million in guaranteed currency. So that means that Kyler can now afford a booster seat when he goes out to eat. So let us discuss the question. Put a grade on the Kyler Murray contract extension with the Cardinals. It's been a story that we've been following all offseason. It's been percolating, and it died down, and then it flared back up. So on the MALLER report card, this deal gets an F. F for the Cardinals. So I've got treasure map, haberdashery, and puddle. And we're going to tie all of these things together, and we are going to make hay while the sun does not shine. All right, so A, Kyler Murray getting a bank heist contract from Arizona is blank. It's mortifying is what it is for the Cardinals. I mean, raise your hand, okay, if you let out a guffaw when you heard the news. Okay, my hand is raised. I raised my hand up. This is a belly laugh situation. The only people who would say this is a good day for the Cardinals is the low information fans. The knowledgeable football people realize this is a fiasco. Now, if you're a fan of the Rams or the 49ers or the Seahawks, you're doing a little happy dance right now. You're like, they actually did it. They did it. The Cardinals did it. I can't believe they did it. Why would they do that? What are they thinking? So let's go behind the curtain here to see how this all came about, how Arizona determined to pay the mega millions jackpot, and how this all went down. Because if you take a look at the treasure map, and I'll give Kyler Murray credit. I've been one of his great critics, but I'll give him credit. He absolutely played the Cardinals. It was a great shakedown. He knew that the Cardinal franchise is a weak franchise, and he could take advantage of it, and he shook him down to the tune of $160 million guaranteed. It's wonderful. But if you look at the map, the treasure map, Kyler did it with equal parts public pouting, sulking, and whining. That's all he had to do. That's it. And he got paid. He was caught on camera having a conniption fit, you might remember, while being poleaxed by the Rams in the worst playoff game I have seen in a generation. From somebody who had the perception of being somewhat decent, Kyler Murray, who literally went out there and urinated at the midfield logo in a playoff game. He then scrubbed his social media of the Cardinal team logo, scrub-a-dub-dub. My favorite part was when he issued a very wordy manifesto/ransom note in all caps demanding a treasure chest. And sure enough, here we go. I think the demand was, I'm not eating my vegetables until I get paid. Okay, all right, eat some broccoli, Kyler. The Cardinals are going to pay you. Now, remember, sources around the team, they were leaking all kinds of stories about Kyler Murray, described him as a self-centered, immature athlete, not a leader of men. And you add it all up. You add all of that up, and he ends up getting rewarded for his malfeasance. That's the NFL in a nutshell, right there. $160 million for a guy that went out and puked in a playoff game, sulked, pouted, and whined, issued a manifesto demanding money, and all of that gets you $160 million. That's your pro football right there. Give a bounty for bad behavior. That's what the Cardinals did. Now, part B of this. What does Kyler Murray's extension tell you about the Arizona Cardinals front office? Well, it does not whisper. It does not talk softly. It shouts, suckers. They are suckers. Easy mark. Steve Keim, the GM, and the other executives there in Arizona. Steve Keim in particular, acting like a character from Winnie the Pooh. Eeyore, right? Just like Winnie's buddy there, the pessimistic, gloomy, stuffed donkey. That's the GM of the Cardinals. Like, total low self-esteem move. Does anyone disagree with that? That the Cardinals giving Kyler Murray this contract is a low self-esteem move? That they believe there's a cloud of rain over their head and that they can't get any other good players, and so they have to pay a guy who's incomplete like Kyler Murray. And so they genuflected to his demands. What they should have done, what an organization that has a backbone would have done, is said, you know what? You haven't earned the big contract yet. You have not. And we actually have intestinal fortitude, unlike some other teams here. So why don't you go out and prove it? Put it all together. Put a full season together. But instead, sawing bada, and they whiffed. They whiffed. Arizona sports in a nutshell. Kyler Murray is now signed through 2028. Cliff Kingsbury, the guy that gives out juice boxes and cell phone breaks during work, why not? He's signed through 2027. And as a result of this dereliction of duties, the Cardinals, I'm going to give them a gift card to the haberdashery, and they can be fitted for a nice brand new dunce cap at the haberdashery. I hope they enjoy themselves there. Pick any dunce cap you want to knock yourself out. All right, last word here. So in terms of the weaknesses for Kyler Murray, are these superficial or are they deeper problems? So the main argument is he's inconsistent. The answer is these are not superficial. These go much deeper. Right? And I actually disagree with the argument that he's inconsistent. I had an epiphany a while back that Kyler Murray is consistent as in consistently inconsistent. And he has played long enough now where we have established a pattern. There's tendencies. That's what they are, tendencies. And there are profound problems here. Kyler Murray, it's like the horse that gets out of the gate and leads the race at the quarter pole mark, but you know by the end of the race, down the stretch, will fade to the back of the pack. Starts out like gangbusters, and then the wheels fall off. His body, unable to handle the abuse of the NFL. And he's got the build of a guy that should be playing second base for the Oakland Athletics. And the Arizona Cardinals, because they're a bunch of dummies, said, all right, you know what? You haven't put a full season together. You haven't won a playoff game. In fact, you played about as bad as you can possibly play in a playoff game. So let's give you the big contract. All right? Murray is like a puddle of water on a scorching hot day in the desert. And then you get closer and you realize, wait a minute, that's not a puddle of water. It's a mirage. It's an optical illusion. And the thing that people don't like to bring up, but we'll bring it up, right? We'll bring it up. Why not? Those pesky scouting reports were relatively accurate back when Kyler was coming out of Oklahoma. And it's taboo to mention this, but it needs to be said. Kyler Murray is a diminishing asset throughout the course of a season because of his slight build, his alligator arms. He's knee-high to a grasshopper, and you can't overcome that. Like, there's a lot of things you know. It's not a canard. It's not something that was unfounded. In fact, there was a great expert, Greg Cosell from NFL Films, who highlighted not that long ago that Kyler has not developed. He's the same flawed player he was when he came out of college. He's essentially the same player that he was as a rookie. And the Cardinals, for a guy that didn't get any better, imagine getting a job and just being the same employee and not improving your production and your skills, and yet you still get the big money. But hey, again, I have no skin in the game on this. I'm a Ram fan. I think everyone else in the NFL we can all laugh at the Cardinals because they are the dummies in the room. And, Kyler, good for him. He laid it all out. We said he wrote the ransom manifesto and all that, and the Cardinals took a knee and they tossed gold coins at Kyler and said, here, knock yourself out. Have a great time. There's more where that came from.